Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Milt, here to do another video. This time I'm reviewing the most highly anticipated Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, which is the second film in the new DC Cinematic Universe. This movie stars Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Lauren Fishburne, Gal Gadot, Jesse Eisenberg, and Jeremy Irons, and it's directed by Zack Snyder. This movie has been anticipated for the last 3 years. People have been looking forward to it. It's a sequel to Man of Steel. And I have to say, I just saw this movie last evening. I have to say I really enjoyed it. Before I get into what I liked and what I didn't like about it, I read some of the responses from different critics from Rotten Tomatoes, and I have to say they got this wrong. I think a lot of them would just have a pencil stuck up their ass. I don't understand it. Here are my positives. Ben Affleck is Batman. He's a badass. He's the best Batman we've had so far. Like, he is the man. I don't see why people were upset about him being Batman, 3 years ago, but they were wrong. He was a badass in this film. His fighting was fucking epic. It was like UFC mixed with the Batman from the Arkham video games. And if you play those video games, you know what I'm talking about. He's a badass. My other positive, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She was in the movie for probably like 20 minutes, but she didn't talk a lot. But that's okay because she did a lot of ass kicking when she did show up, and I love that. And I'm looking forward to that Wonder Woman standalone film. Now, hopefully, she improves as an actress because she's not the greatest actress, let's be honest. But Zack Snyder did a great job at hiding her weaknesses and showing her strengths. Another positive is Henry Cavill as Superman. He's the best Superman. I mentioned in my Man of Steel video, he's the best Superman we've had in years since Christopher Reeves. And I love Christopher Reeves in the original 2 Superman films. But yeah, he was badass. I liked him. He did a great job. Another positive was the score. The score wasn't epic. It wasn't nothing that was like, oh, I gotta buy the music for this. No, it stood out, but it wasn't the greatest. But it was still good though. I enjoyed it. Lawrence Fishburne is Perry White. What can I say? He brings the thunder and everything he does. No complaints about him. The action scenes and the fight scenes in this movie were well choreographed, and I enjoyed it, especially the Batman and Superman fight. That fight was pretty cool. I'll get to my negatives about that fight, but I felt that Batman and Superman fighting was pretty badass. It just showed that Bruce Wayne's one of the smartest men on this planet. His gadgets are awesome. It showed how strong Superman is as a character and how intimidating he can be when he's pissed off and angry and motivated. So it was cool to see that fight go down, and that's like the fight of the century. So the next positive, the pacing. Even though this movie was 2.5 hours long, I wasn't bored with it. I enjoyed it very much. A lot of people probably going to complain, oh, Zack Snyder's movies are way too long. No, I could have had another hour of this face, neck, and chest, dude. Like, I don't care. These superhero movies are dope. I'm looking forward to the director's cut when that comes out on Blu-ray a couple months ago. I'm definitely going to get it. If it's 3.5 hours, I'm going to sit through it and watch it and love it. So, another positive is at the end of the movie, there's a death scene with the character. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to go into spoilers with that. But if you read the comics, you know who I'm talking about. And this character's death scene, it was ballsy. I was happy he did it, because most movies would let it happen and then bring a person back real quick through some bullshit. But I liked it. It's going to help the story along, and I think I know what's going to happen with the next movie when it comes to Justice League. So that'd be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of Justice League, I really enjoyed the Justice League cameos. We got to see the Flash, we got to see Cyborg, we got to see Aquaman, and obviously we got to see Wonder Woman. Now, one thing about seeing Flash, you got to see his powers, but I was like, was he a fucking homeless piece of shit? Because he looked homeless. I'm like, Flash ain't no bum. Like, he works for the CSI. So I'm like, this is weird. But he was cool, though. Seeing Cyborg was interesting. I'm looking for that. And then Aquaman looks like a badass. In the opening, another positive was the opening sequence of this movie. Having Bruce Wayne doing the voiceover, seeing, like, his character of, like, him becoming, who he is. And it was touched over for, like, 5 minutes. And that's all you needed. You didn't need another origin story. All you needed to do is just do a brief, like, 10-minute voiceover slash like show some shots of his parents dying. I was cool with that, and it worked out perfect. And I thought that was a cool part of the movie. So my negatives. Lois Lane. Lois Lane, I love Amy Adams as an actress. I love Lois Lane as a character. But in this movie, they made her such a fucking bitch. Like not like her being mean. They made her soft. And Lois Lane isn't soft. Now, I'm sorry, people. I'm not a big comic book reader. I'm not a comic book purist. So if you want to change the characters for the benefit of the story, that's fine. But they fucked up on this one because she kept getting into trouble all the time. Like, there's 3 incidents. She was in the desert. She was thrown off a building, and she was drowning. And there might have been a 4th one. I don't remember. But Superman had to always come and save her ass, which caused him to fuck up more. And it's like, come on, Amy Adams or Lois Lane, what the fuck are you doing? You know better. And on top of that, I burped. Sorry about that. And on top of that, these Senate hearings that are going on because they're saying Superman's a bad guy, like, you're the reason why he's always getting in trouble, Lois, doing that stupid shit. And he has to always save you. So they could have done that better. Another negative was the Batman-Superman fight. Now, I said that in my positives, which is true. I liked that part. But I didn't like the ending because Superman's getting his ass whooped, which was cool, and then all of a sudden he says a name to Batman. Batman's about to stab him with the Spear of Destiny, and all of a sudden he's like, so and so, and Batman's like, why'd you say that name? But he has that cool voice modulator, not that bullshit Christian Bale like cancer throat. But he's like, why'd you say that name? And it's like, all of a sudden they stop fighting, and then Batman becomes his boy after that. I'm like, what the fuck? And what's funny though, in the theater I was at, there's a guy who was sat like a couple rows up in front of me. When that went down, he yells out in the crowd, bullshit. And people started laughing. And I was like, dude, I kind of agree with you there. I agree. Like, how it ended was so, like, abrupt. I was like, wait, y'all friends now? What the hell? Like, y'all should at least talk about this and, have some mediation, then become boys. But it is what it is. It's probably nitpicky. It worked out for the film. Doomsday. I'm a big Doomsday fan. I love a lot of villains and bad guys. And I even have the animated Superman movie Doomsday, which is badass. But this Doomsday in this movie didn't scare me. He looked cool somewhat, but he didn't scare me because I don't know, it's just how it played out. I was like, oh, okay, Doomsday. He looked cool, but he wasn't like intimidating like I thought he'd be. So I was like, okay, I kind of wasn't cool with that one. And then finally, I think that this movie could have been a lot sharper if Zack Snyder focused on the relationship between Batman and Superman. Excuse me. What I mean is, he should have, he could have taken out some stuff and just focused it on just the Batman and Superman conflict. And I think that's why a lot of people gave it a negative score. But in my personal opinion, I didn't mind it. But I can see why people would be like, oh man, focus more on Batman and Superman. Don't go off in these little, tangents, which I get. So it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. And then my final negative is Lex Luthor. I love Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, but I would have preferred Michael Rosenbaum. For those who don't know who Michael Rosenbaum is, go watch Smallville. He's the best Lex Luthor we've ever had. I don't care what anybody tell me. And people might say, what the fuck are you talking about? Gene Hackman, you motherfucker. He's the best Lex Luthor. Nope, I'm sorry. Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville is the best. And Jesse Eisenberg, I like him as an actor, but this wasn't his role. This wasn't his role. So, doing that weird shit. Like, come on. So, no. Like, and I like parts of him. And I understood the character's motivation somewhat, but I was like, dude, don't be quirky. Just be cold and cynical and use your head and be a genius like your character is, and just be a badass, man. And so, I don't know. Maybe in the next time we see him, he'll revert back to being that. I felt like he was like, I felt like he had Tourette's mixed with schizophrenia. I don't know. That's just me. But I'm going to grade this as being a movie that is on point. I can't give a complete go see this mofo because there are some things about this movie that you're going to be like, oh, that's kind of effed up. Like, what the fuck? Like, why would they do that? But it's still a good film in my opinion, so you should go see it. But yeah, this is just on point for me. I'm definitely going to go see it again probably. I'm definitely going to get the Blu-ray when it comes out. So those are my thoughts, people. What do you think? What's important is what do you think? Leave your comments down below. Are you going to see Batman v Superman? Have you seen it? What do you think about it? Did you like it? Didn't you like it? Let's talk about it. Let's keep this conversation going. Like I always say, people, comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
What up? Hey, shout it what it is. What up? Hey, shout it what it is. What up? Hey, shout it what it is. Little buddy, what you on? Some violent shit. Two-stepping laid back.